What's going on, everybody? This is Samuel Genus, and I want to welcome you to episode number 3 of Joining the 1%. I'm here with my family. This is my wife, Sharon Genus, and I have my son, Christian, and next to him is Grace Genus. The other 2 kids won't be on this particular episode, but they're here in spirit. All right? So on today's episode, we are talking about college sucks. Like, really? Does it? Does college suck? Let's begin with that question. Does college suck?
Well, I'm still in high school, but I see other kids stressing about it too, and I don't know. I feel like it does suck.
Why?
Well, like I said, I don't know. I'm still in high school, so.
So why do you feel like it sucks?
Because I just don't like going to school.
Okay. So you don't like going to school. Okay. What about you, Christian? Does college suck?
Shoot, he not even in college.
It depends. I mean, it doesn't suck, but it really depends if it benefits you or not. But I don't think it sucks necessarily. But I think you could end up wasting your time depending on the person.
Okay. What about you, Sharon?
I don't think college sucks. It has its pros and cons. You can benefit from learning. Everybody, anybody can learn, pick up a book and learn, or learn trades and skills on their own. But if you can go to a credible college and learn, it just looks good, I guess, depending on what you're trying to do, who you're trying to connect with, who you're trying to talk, and be with and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it has its pros and cons. You can fall back on it, if needs be, if you go to college and and get the right degree. And the cons could be a waste of time. Mm-hmm. Like Christian said, it can definitely be a waste of time.
Oh, I think college sucks if you just don't know what you're trying to do. Like, you just
waste
suck.
of time.
If you just don't know what you're trying to do.
Waste of time and money.
So college can suck if you don't know what to do. I was just reading this thing from Psychology Today. It says, for many people, college can be a waste of time and money. Too many people are going to college because they believe a great American myth. College is for everyone, and happiness and wealth depends on a college degree. And so that's kind of like, the American culture is pushing college. And there's a lot of people now, they're going to college, but they still don't get that good job, right? After they go, they come out of college with a lot of debt, and some of them are still unemployed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because they're going to college because people told them to, but they're not going to college for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. But yet at the flip side, people who go to college make more money than people who don't go to college, right? So you got that other side that was like, they are going to college, they're learning a skill, they're mastering something, right? People are going for their master's degree, and they're mastering the skill. They're coming out with a certain level of discipline, a certain level of education, and because they have that, they can get certain jobs. But that's changing because now more and more companies aren't necessarily looking for the degree. They're looking for the skill. Because there are a lot of people who's going into college, but they're not coming out of college with a skill. Like they'll come out of college like with a certain level of understanding in something, but not with an actual skill that a company could use to make money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you got people who don't go to college, but they're a good salesman. Guess what? That's a great skill to have. You could sell cars, you could sell houses, you could sell software, right? And if you're a good salesman, you don't necessarily need a degree, right? So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, and here on this show, we're not talking about getting a job. We're not talking about getting a career. We're talking about wealth building, business ownership, entrepreneurship, moving to that place of the 1%. And so if you know where you're going as a family, right? if you know where you're going as a family, then your family goals and the family agenda should help determine what courses I need to take in school.
Right.
Like, because, yeah, you can learn certain things from a book, but there are, there's a lot of family businesses where you need a lot of understanding in a particular topic, and you ain't just gonna get that watching a YouTube video. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to sit with someone who fully understands this subject. You're gonna have to spend about 8,000-9,000 hours practicing it and learning it, and then when you come out, you can now be a part of the business and do what you got to do. Even when it comes to just managing a business, you know what I mean? There's a lot that people just don't know, and they got to get educated. You want to be, you got an idea to create this widget, you need to have like some kind of engineering understanding, to be able to create that. You ain't just going to get that just reading a little book. Yeah, there's certain people who do that, but the masses aren't doing that, So college can suck if you go in without direction. College can suck if you're choosing a career path that's not relevant anymore. Right? You just,
That's what I said. Because, I started looking into college, and then some of the majors I picked, I looked on Google like, is this major going to be needed in the future? You got to worry about that stuff.
And here's another question. Is that major needed in the family business? For example, does UShare 360 need that? Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, does the family business need that? You know what I mean? What can I learn? What position can I play? What knowledge do I need to understand to be able to play this role? Like, there's a guy, Value Entertainment. I forgot his name though, but you can look him up on the internet, Value Entertainment. And he says, don't bring your family into the family business until they're ready. Because they might not have the skills needed to be in the family business. So go get your education. So while college may suck for some people and it may not suck for others, here's one thing that never sucks: education. You got to be educated. You have to master a skill.
Right.
And you can't benefit the family business if you don't have a certain level of intelligence, if you don't have a certain skill set.
Right. Totally agree. Because I know I know people that went to college. Like a lot of my circles, the ladies, they college driven, and they're very intelligent, able to handle themselves, and it's just it does set you apart. I think the discipline of learning for all those years, and I'm saying these ladies didn't just go for 4 years; they've actually mastered something. So I think that is one of the pros. You're just very educated, and it's just a good thing to have if you have the money and the time to do it. But we're talking about businesses, so of course, in our eyes, it's like, okay, we don't want to just have you going and wasting your time where you can be needed here and you can be doing this and grow here in this business and do that. But it definitely has its pros and cons, because it definitely benefits some people.
Right.
And a lot of people. What are those? That's why we have doctors and attorneys. We need those people.
Right, but you do know that the first attorneys weren't college graduates.
Oh yeah, but we're not.
Right.
Yeah, we're here.
Because a lot of the people, school is really designed to pass the knowledge down. But the geniuses, what school did they go to? They didn't. Like they're creating somebody, and so it's like you have those kind of people, then you have the schools and stuff like that, and which is good, because if, let's say for instance your family business is building hospitals, right? You might want to go to college to learn how to be a general contractor. You might want to go to college to learn how to do engineering so you can create medical equipment, right? You might want to go and learn how to be, you might want to learn accounting and stuff like that. You might want to take a class. And so while, college may not always be the answer, some people are now pushing trade schools.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. So let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about college versus trade schools. All right. So you're watching the 1%. We'll be right back after this few commercials. My name is Samuel Genus, and I'm the founder of YouShare360.com, and my company created an all-in-one business platform called the Back Office. And with this platform, business owners can manage all of their contacts, their email campaigns, their marketing funnels, their automations, their e-commerce, their billing, their tasks, projects, and teams. I created the Back Office because I saw that in order for solopreneurs and mom and pop shops and small business owners to become successful, they actually need all of these various features. They need CRM, they need email campaign, they need marketing funnels and automations, they need to be able to sell products or send out invoices, they need to be able to manage their projects and manage their teams and manage all their tasks. And so we was like, many of them were just like pulling their hair out. They was frustrated with trying to connect all these different platforms together. So there was a lot of tech headache, there was a lot of things they had to learn. And then on top of that, to get all these different features and software, the cost went up. And so when you're starting a business, you're trying to keep your costs low. So we decided to create a platform that have all these features and modules within the platform at one low price. One of the things I like about the plans that we offer is that we don't just consider ourselves a IT company. So we're not just giving you technology, we're also giving you education, and we're giving you consulting. So with our plans, when you select the essential plan or higher, we actually provide you with free strategy sessions throughout the year. It's actually associated with your plan, because we've noticed that many business owners, they get the software or they get technology and they think it's a magic bullet, and then we realize that, hey, there's some things you got to learn. You need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a blueprint in place. So we decided to incorporate those services with our plan. So when you pick one of the plans within the Back Office, you automatically get the training and you get the strategy sessions and you get implementation support. To sign up is easy. Simply go to YouShare360.com, click on the sign up button in the top right, and you'll be on your way. Welcome back to Joining the 1%. My name is Samuel Genus, and I'm here with my wife, Sharon Genus, my son, Christian Genus, and my daughter, Grace Genus. The other two aren't here, but they are here in spirit. We're the Genus family, and we're talking about our journey towards business ownership, building wealth, influence, and charity. And on today's episode, we're talking about college sucks, right? We're trying to figure out whether or not college sucks. All right, so we said we was going to kind of get back in and talk about the difference between college and trade schools, because there's a lot of people now pushing trade schools now rather than just college. What do y'all think about that?
So I feel like people think college sucks because it's too long. And you just told me that trade school is like 2 years and time is very important. So I don't know.
That was a big yawn, Kristen. He didn't even cover his mouth for an hour. Dang. That dude.
You forgot where you was at.
I was trying to hold it. It's not let me hold it.
There go Grace.
Oh my goodness.
Great. We have to start all over.
No, we're going to finish this, all right? So go back. You were saying that.
I was saying that time is important.
Time is important.
And it waits for nobody.
Uh-huh.
So I guess if you're trying to learn a skill, go to a trade school instead of going to a 4-year college.
But wouldn't
Depends
that depend on? Go ahead, Christian. Sorry.
That depends on the skill you're trying to learn too.
Right.
Not all skills you can go for 12 or 8 months.
Mm-hmm. Some things take longer just to learn, to wrap your head around.
What was the question is, how does it benefit?
College
But then
college
also,
versus trade school.
isn't trade school like less expensive? Not everybody's trying to be in debt all
True.
the time.
Some trade schools are very expensive depending on what the trade is,
Depends.
right? Depends on what the trade is. But I think, go ahead, Christian.
Basically, the way I look at it, like college to me, it depends on the person first, and then it depends what you're trying to do. And if you're talking about being at 1% and helping out with the business or the family, it really depends on the person and what you're trying to do. Like if you're gonna go to college, and you're supposed to be doing this thing for your business to get your skill, but you start partying and all that stuff, getting caught up in a crowd, That could ruin it and not just ruin everything. Or you can just go wasting time, not knowing what you want to do, of course, and start being simple-minded, not thinking of your family, just going to college to go for your dreams. That could be a problem. But if you're going and you're doing everything right, like let's say your parents had a business or something, or you did have a certain dream too, that could happen too, like where maybe the son want to be a lawyer. That can still help out with business and family, just like to deal with lawsuits and stuff like that. So it's still a benefit.
Right.
So there's still ways to go to college and still help out. It just depends really what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like that because I always said if Grace and Faith is going to go to college, Grace would go for an attorney and Faith would go for a doctor because it would be nice to have that in the family. Gracie, like, yeah. But I always tell them that, but I know that's not what we're doing. But I forgot my thought. Oh, as college relates to the 1%, though, joining and moving towards the 1%, there are careers that you can take up in college that you can do that leads you to having your own business. You know, you can, if you're going to be a doctor, you can have your own facility.
Right.
You can work in your own home, like in New York, they did that a lot. You know, they're downstairs, they had doctor office, chiropractors, things like that. Attorney, you can be an attorney. You know.
Well, I think that's for everything though, because you can be taking out the trash, and you can have your own waste management company. So almost any career can be turned into a business.
You know,
It just
like
depends on
It depends on what they go.
you know,
What do you think can't be?
I was thinking in my mind, I was saying teachers, but no, you can teach. You
You can create your own charter school as a teacher.
Depends on what mindset.
But you need a principal.
Yeah, but you can still.
Yeah, you can
become
it.
A teacher can become a principal. And I think it's just a few more things you got to do to become the principal. But it's like if you got teaching skills, you understand the way a school operates and stuff. You probably have to take some administration courses and stuff like that. You know.
Oh, I was gonna say, in college and in trade school, you just focus on that one major. I say just learn many skills as you can, because you never know what might be needed and stuff. Well, if you go to college to be a lawyer, but let's say you're trying to do a business with like like your dad or somebody's has a business dealing with like computers or something, but you want to be a lawyer or something, you can't learn something with computers even outside of college and stuff, right? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like you can go to college to be a lawyer and you can learn on the side about computers and stuff.
So basically, I don't know. I don't think you should just be learning anything you can, because that could be a waste of time. Like if you're just learning a bunch of stuff without direction. I think the key is that you got to first get a sense of direction. Else you'll just be learning, and then when you're like, okay, I'm learning all this for what? What's the purpose? What am I going to use it in? Right? I think the key is to have a direction, a goal, a vision. What is it that I'm moving towards? And what do I need to learn to get to that destination, so that I'm not wasting time learning how to be a doctor when I need to become a lawyer, right? Or learning how to be an accountant when I need to be learning engineering, because part of the family business is manufacturing, and we're manufacturing products. And yes, becoming an engineer could help, because now we can manufacture, we can build the equipment to create these machinery or things of that nature, right? So it really depends on, I think it first starts with the family. And I actually think moms and dads do a disservice to their children when those kids spend 18, 20 years in your house and you haven't really given them a sense of direction. So now when they get time to go to college or even trade school, a lot of them are just guessing. They're just like any, mini, money, mo. And then when they pick a career, they will pick something, and then a year and a half in, they change their major, right? They don't really have a sense of direction. I think having before you jump in, because college is a lot of money, but so is trade school. Trade school still costs money. It may not be as much as college, but it still costs money. And I would say don't jump into any of those things until you first have a sense of direction. What is it that I'm aiming for? Because you're not going to get those 2 years back. If you go to trade school, even for 6 months, you're not getting those 6 months back. You're not getting those 24 months back. You're not getting that 4-year time that you spent in college, or 6 years and 8 years. It's gone. And now you're older, and you're not getting it back. Time waits for no one, and time does not give refunds. Right? So I need to make my life, I need to make my time count. And that's the reason why it's important for families to get together and talk about what is our goal as a family. What do we need? What are we trying to accomplish? And what do you need to become? What do you need to become? What do you need to become? What do the parents need to become, so we can build this empire? And build something that will last.
Yeah.
Feel me?
So why do wealthy kids still go to college?
Why do wealthy? I know some. I think you mean why do wealthy people still make their kids go to college?
Right.
I think we were talking about that before the break. What do y'all think? Why do you think sometimes they got all this money?
I would think that
they try to gain more power, like make them to politicians, stuff like that.
Yeah, but some of them are already politicians.
So, yeah, that too.
Like you got. Why do politicians make their kids go to college?
To learn more.
So,
I think that education is important to wealthy people.
Yeah, but why?
I think education is important. So, and if a wealthy parent is telling their kids that they still need to go to college, either it's fitting in with their business, or it's just they want them to be educated in something.
Yeah, because all the parents is the one with the education, but they just taking their money and going. But they need to learn too. So that's probably
benefits
why.
though. If they don't, who's going to continue? Like if the kid's not going to do nothing, maybe like let's say their family has like full of politicians, and they have kids. The kids ain't going to take that. That means the politician's going to stop right there. There's no power in whatever they're trying to do or continue. As the Kennedys do, they all still have politicians all the time. So
you had said something earlier about to continue the legacy, and that's the reason why we have an educational system here in America, to continue the legacy of democracy, to make sure that our population is educated enough to make at least decent decisions, reasonable decisions. And if the if the population, the average citizen can't read, can't write, can't have a basic conversation, then they're going to be stuck. Well, actually, when we come back, we're going to talk about continuing the legacy and why the wealthy and the 1% still would make their kids go to college. Why do they do that, even though they're already worth $1 billion, $2 billion? Why do they do that? When we come back, we're gonna take a break, show you some commercials, but we'll be right back. Starting a new business is exciting, but it quickly becomes overwhelming and frustrating if you don't have the proper guidance. After working with dozens of business owners, I realized that they struggled with understanding marketing concepts. They didn't know what they needed to be successful. They struggled with implementation and optimization, and they struggled with scaling their business. So to help my clients, I created an activity workbook entitled Joining the 1%, Module 1, where I walk business owners step by step through the process of picking the right product, establishing a reasonable plan, creating the marketing funnel they need for their business, and how to optimize the funnel for growth. This is not a book you read, it is a book you do. This is why we call it an activity workbook. Instead of chapters, it has steps, and all you have to do is follow the steps to move your business forward. So if you're tired of running in circles, and if you don't actually have a game plan, then you want to get this activity workbook, Joining the 1%, Module 1. Go to www.joiningthe1%.com. Take care. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Joining the 1%. I am here with my family. This is my wife, Sharon Genus, my boo. And and my son, Christian Genus, and my daughter, Grace Genus. Where are the other two? They're not here, but they're here in spirit. You hear that in church. They're like, they hear in spirit. So in today's episode, we're talking about college sucks. Like, does it really? We talking about college versus trade school. We're talking about not wasting your time. How does college relate to the family business? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Is going into debt worth it? All that good stuff. So we ended on the question, why do the wealthy, why do the 1% still make their kids go to college? And I like the point that Christian brought out. He was like, to continue the legacy. And I think that's very, very important. Even Jesus had 12 disciples to continue the legacy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In the Bible, it says that, parents should teach their children, like in the Old Testament, teach them the commandments, to continue the legacy so that you can enjoy the land and prosper in the land and stuff like that. So education does matter. The question is, does college matter? We're not downplaying education, but we know education, but now is whether does college matter? And so we're talking about that continuing the legacy. And anybody got anything else to add on that? Like the importance of continuing the legacy?
Well, continue the legacy part, it really depends on what your family's trying to offer or what you're trying to make your family become. Mm-hmm. If you're in the beginning stage, of course, you can't do so much, but that's where, as I feel like a big part of teaching your kids more is in the beginning stages, if anything. But as in the college part, you can learn so much now. So that it still is of course valuable. There's other things, but it really depends on what you're trying to learn. Because some things you do need degrees for just to do. So it really depends. But
what about if that kid just wants to do something else? She don't want to be a politician. She probably just want to be like a singer or something.
I see.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I'm gonna let y'all
then
answer
again,
first.
That's
I'll jump in.
why they probably have a bunch of children.
What? You think that's why they have a bunch of children?
Probably has more children, maybe,
So they can do different things?
Mm-hmm. But but what if that person just doesn't want to do?
They don't want to do the family business, so they just want to go to college and learn something else and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a bad thing, because I still think you still have something to offer at the end of the day. If you, let's say your family is successful already, and it's a politician or not even a politician, whatever they do, and you don't want to continue in the family business, I still think there's ways to still support their business.
Yeah, I know we would watch those the soaps back in the days, and they would be wealthy, but there was always an attorney in the family. There was always a doctor in the family. There was always some business in the family that they would help, some way. They all worked together. They lived in this big old estate.
Like Dallas, the movie Dallas, the show Dallas.
Yeah,
My Life to Live, All My Children.
Yeah, they all lived in their estate and they all did their thing, but they had that in common, but they all participated somehow.
I think the answer to that question really depends on where you are in that process, because are you starting at ground zero?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Or did you make it?
Right.
Because when you're starting at ground zero, and I know that I'm about to say something very controversial.
Wait, hold up. But that girl does something else, right? And then she has children, then she's telling her children, do what you want, whatever. And then those children do what they want, and then it just keeps on going.
There's
like
no
that.
legacy at that point.
Yeah. And so
everybody's just doing what they
disappears.
want. Right? So that's why I said I think it depends. Is if you're starting at ground zero and you have a vision, you have a goal. Now, if you have no goal, then there's nothing to work with, right? But if you have a family goal, somebody in the family has to have a vision. They have to have a win-win vision for the entire family. Like the stuff we're talking about, the ideas we have, our vision, I'm actually thinking about my grandkids and my great-grandkids. That's how I'm thinking when it comes to family business and legacy. I'm not just thinking about y'all. I'm thinking about the grandkids I don't even have right now. So we're making major chess moves at this point, right? So, but at the same time, we're still in the baby stages, right? We haven't completely arrived. And I think that question that Grace is asking, the answer is it depends. If you're starting at ground zero, and this is what part I'm gonna say is very controversial. When you're at ground zero,
For sure.
Your individualism, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I don't think your individualism matters. You don't have the luxury to have
Everybody's at ground zero.
Yeah, because you're starting at ground zero. That individualism, is a luxury once you've arrived. Because now you can kind of like fund things. So for example, in Africa, there is a saying. It says, become what the community needs, not what you want to be. But I get it, because the community is like, it needs so much, you know what I mean? There's things it doesn't have. And so you got this person, I want to be a poet. Man, we need somebody who can dig some wells. We're going to starve. You ain't got the luxury to just become a poet. You won't survive if we don't dig these wells. We need a bridge to connect these two islands so that we can do trade and stuff. But the person says, I think I just want to be a writer, or I just want to like sit in the corner and sing songs, right? Or I just want to be a songwriter. Well, how will your community survive, right? Is that a win-win situation? Or is that just me just wanting to be, I have this individual dream, this hobby?
That's where
I get the difference?
independent.
No, it doesn't depend, because if your community is at war, you need warriors at that moment.
Wait, someone from the ground stage, you said about war?
Yeah, I'm just using that as an example. If your nation or community is at war, you need warriors. You need people who can create weapons. You don't really need somebody who can just create bracelets. You're gonna be like, what does the community need, right? We need warriors right now. We need guns, or we need this. And if your community doesn't have, if everybody's traveling, going 15 miles to get water, no, our community needs a well. We need well diggers. You see what I'm saying? But that's ground zero. But once you start getting all these things, right? When you talk about
I think that depends, because in this day and stage, we're talking about families now.
Okay, at this day and stage, what?
We're starting at ground zero, and let's say like when she says someone wants to be a singer, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it goes back to the independent where we did that episode. It can still, because I feel like you still could in a way help, but still go for your dreams. As I say, if we're all at ground zero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's idea, I feel like, just don't hinder them. But if your idea, because sometimes that could be a problem too. Like maybe the leader, so-called, doesn't really have the goal is a little bit long term, and maybe someone else is short term and get the money real quick. Then that can push their family's goals to the goal. So that's what I say. It still kind of depends in a way. And then it still depends on if that person, even though they want to go for their route, if they're gonna have their family in mind.
But that would be a discussion still, because remember the goal is to get to this point.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're stuck. Like I have to sell phones to get to this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. But that still would be a family discussion.
Yeah, that's what
You're
I mean.
not just,
but I think you could still. I think that when she meant like goal, that person could still go for their goal in that family, either up there or low in a way. It just depends on the.
Right, but that still depends on where you are. Because you look at the African American community. Why is it that the African American community is pretty much at zero?
Because they're all worried.
Because they don't have teamwork.
That's part of it, but there's like most of them don't even have goals like that in general.
Right, but even if they wanted to, even if they have an individual goal, because they don't even have the teamwork, where do they get the funding from? Where do they get the money to support their goal? Where do they get the help to support their goal?
That's what I mean. If it's starting at ground zero, no one's gonna have no funding. It's gonna be starting just like that.
Where do you think the black community is at?
They have no money, I'm saying.
No, I'm like, do you think the black community is at zero? Do you think, like the average black family, where do you think they're at?
Zero.
Like the average person has about $600 in their savings account.
Yeah.
Okay, so this person has an individual dream. How's he gonna get his individual dream off the ground? He needs help.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
so
there's still other opportunities, I'm saying, yeah, I understand.
So
But it's like,
yeah.
kind of, though.
Yeah, but she still needs help.
Like for our other family, he wanted his kids really to be in sports, right? But someone chose to be a YouTuber instead. Mm-hmm. But their goal, then of course the family, I guess, didn't have the right goal, but his is like, got him, he was still independent, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of, if that makes sense.
That would be bad leadership.
Yeah.
Because if you have a plan, but your plan doesn't work, That's just bad. That's just poor execution at that point. Even a football team, right? You'll have a football play, but guess what? If the play doesn't work, what should the coach do?
Adjust it.
Adjust the play. But if a person is stuck on this play and it's not working, people should be like, hey, dad, or hey, leader, whoever it is, hey, mom, hey, uncle, aunt, whoever it is that had this idea, your idea is not working. So we can't be working on this failed idea for the next 6-7 years. Your idea doesn't work. And if your idea doesn't work, let me present an alternative that the family can get behind. Maybe it's like, hey, dude, I got this music idea, right? The person wants to go into music or they want to become a football player. Hey, all right, then, Dad, I think we should get behind Joe. Because Joe is really, really good. He just got that scholarship. You see what I'm saying?
Well, really, it should be, I guess, a discussion for that family.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking
come
about.
to them and try to work something out in a way.
Right.
If that makes sense. And if she really wants it that hard, or he wants it that hard, to the point he feel like he needs to just back off for a bit, then come back, like get his goals first, accomplish it if he has to accomplish it,
Right.
then come back, that's a different story. But go to the family first.
Right. Yeah, I think ultimately what we're really getting to is like you got to have those family discussions. I think the reason why so many people are becoming individualistic is simply because they don't even have these discussions. So they just stop talking to each other and they just go their
Or
way.
when
and
they do have discussions, bad things happen. Like as one of my friends is saying, how he was trying to bring it to his family.
Right,
So.
and they shoot it down. You get into these arguments and all that kind of stuff. But I think the key is like we got to have those conversations, so that even if that does happen, wow, we're out of time. Thank you so much for watching, joining the 1%. We hope you learned something out of this. So basically, college is not necessarily bad, but it may not necessarily be for you.
There's a love-hate relationship. People just got a love-hate relationship with college. You need it. Maybe you don't need it.
Yeah, but if you know what you're going to do, sit with your family. Find out if there's a family vision. If you don't have a family vision, then present one. And if the vision is, hey, Ma, hey, Dad, y'all don't have one, but I have one, y'all can get behind me, right? And I'm gonna do this, and hopefully, try to come up with some strategy to make that expand. Because you can't win by yourself. That's one thing for sure. You cannot win by yourself. So thank you for watching, joining the 1%. Check us out on our website, www.joiningthe1%.com. Check us out on Facebook, like our page, facebook.com/joining the 1%. Also check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/joining 1%. Subscribe to us and check out our merch and all that good stuff. All right, my name is Samuel Genus. This is the Genus family, the Genus clan. And thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video. Take care.